That's wonderful for the young. There are other things that Father Lombardi will dwell on. But again, as we were moving around the campus, you know, the Holy Father was just, he would turn to us and say, hey, where are these young people getting their energies from? No? They're shouting, they're enthusiastic. Yeah. And after that encounter with the youth, when the Holy Father reached the Apostolic Nunciature, he had an encounter, a very private encounter with the father of Cristel, the girl who died in Tacloban. Yeah. So the father of Cristel was there, and an uncle of Cristel, the brother of the mother of Cristel. And it was just the two of them and the Holy Father, and the Pope invited me to join so that I could translate to him. Yes, of course, the Holy Father was searching for words. How do you console with words a father who just lost an only child? You know? And so the Holy Father did not apologize for his lack of words, but he was there. But I think what struck the Holy Father was the statement of the father of Cristel. First, he said he felt devastated when the news reached him. And he even asked God, no, I have only one child, and why is she taken away from me? Now, the very same question that the young girl in UST asked, no, but now coming from a father. No? But then it surprised the Holy Father when this grieving father said, I have accepted this. I have resigned to the fact that my daughter is no longer surprised, you know, in a pleasant way, that here he was trying to show compassion and mercy, but this grieving man witnessed to his faith before the Holy Father. And the Holy Father had very little time to rest and to be touched by the faith of the people. His homily was, of course, about the Santo Niño, the child Jesus, and he connected this childlike quality to the mission of combating corruption, etc. He seems to be implying that if you remain a child, you will not be...
Christian would do. And he has said that the speech was not prepared to answer exactly to these questions. And then he has worked this night, not many occasions to deal with this problem. This was, in his perspective, the place. And then you can take from the text that the idea, as he very often does, to form someone. But it was not possible. And then, yes, the meeting was only with... In the afternoon, you have seen how many people, well, the question of the Pope, of every one of us, receives by the authorities this answer between 6 and 7 million. This is the number that has been given by the assistant of the sent by the president to help the Vatican protocol to Gasbarri. Then he said to me the official number that has been given to us is between 6 and 7. We are not able to number all these people, obviously, and to control, verify. But in any case, we have seen so many people that we believe that it is possible that this number. If this is true, and we think, this is the largest event of the history of the popes, at least, because before it was again in Manila in 1905, 4 or 5 millions, and then Manila 2015 is 6 or 7. Next time to go on, we have to come back to Manila, I think. Well, in any case, it was really, really impressive. And it was, yes, it was a wonderful celebration. I have to say that it was very well prepared, and the music was wonderful, and I have read that there was really an attempt to have a musical arrangement that is particular for the synthesis of different rhythms from North and South Filipino, from West and East, and also the use of 7 major languages of Filipino is something that tried really to give a national presence in all the different aspects. We have to appreciate this, I think, was very impressive, this music also. And also some particular, I am attentive, this is important for me. You have seen the first reading was read by a blind lady. Yes. And in the offertory, there were a family with a triplet of 3 young girls. There were wonderful choices, I think, in the preparation. In the homily, I think that not many people have listened, heard very well what the Pope said, but you had the text, and then you have noted. This point is important, I think. The Philippines is the foremost Catholic country in Asia. This is itself a special gift of God, a blessing, but it is also a vocation. Filipinos are called to be outstanding missionaries of the faith in Asia. Then this idea that the Philippines, as the major Catholic nation, the only majority Catholic nation in Asia, has a vocation for the evangelization of Asia is, I think, very important. And also, at the end, this mission with the light is not only for the Filipino in their land, but for the Filipino in Asia and in the world. And also, there were other important points. God created the world as a beautiful garden and asked us to care for it, but through sin, man has disfigured that natural beauty. Through sin, man has also destroyed the unity and beauty of our human family, creating social structures which perpetuate poverty, ignorance, and corruption. As you have noted this morning, also in the speech to the young people, and this evening again, this is the very strong accent for the engagement against the social injustice, inequities, for a society that is more done for the right and for the well-being of all its members, in particular the poor. And yes, and also there were some accent again about the family. Sadly, in our day, the family all too often needs to be protected against insidious attacks and programs contrary to all that we all the true and sacred, all that is most beautiful and noble in our culture, and also for the young people, as we need to care for our young people, not allowing them to be robbed of hope and condemned to drive in the streets. In this sense, I think in these days, the most important points of the message of the Pope were also even repeated and stressed. And therefore, I think we can begin to have a synthesis of the entire trip, because it is at the end. It is a pity, but it is at the end. And then we have to recognize that the, the way in which the Pope has been received is marvelous, extraordinary. I think that the Pope was very touched, and the numbers were incredible. And in this sense, the entire nation was here around the Pope, and the Pope has appreciated this very, very much. Is the first point, I think, the impressive way in which the Filipinos have received the Pope and were on the street and everywhere with the most fabulous number that we have seen. And then also the coherence of the message of the Pope, beginning with the message of integrity against the corruption, against the scandalous inequality, and the engagement for of the responsible for a more just society, and the poor at the center of the attention of the church and of the society. The strong evangelization, the mission, the affirmation of Christ, Jesus Christ, and the faith in Jesus Christ as center of the message of the evangelization, but the poor at the center of the gospel that Jesus announces. And to be near to the poor, then the Pope has demonstrated this in Tacloban in particular yesterday, but also in the street children, and also in this little meeting with the father of that girl. This is a Pope that comes near to the people and to the suffering, and is able to weep, yes. Well, and in this sense, I think we have experienced in Philippines a great religious devotion, a great readiness of the people to listen to the church and to the gospel, but also the Pope has tried to give impulse to a concrete way to engage themselves in the society to have a more Christian society, more coherent with the Christian values and with the right of the people and so on. This was a good scientist, the great respect that he has for the religious, popular religiosity, popular devotion and so on, but also the strong affirmation of the values of justice and engagement for a better society and so on. To stop with my consideration, I have to say, well, this is the second journey of the Pope in Asia. This is really a big choice that the Pope has done to do these 2 trips, 3 lands, and in every one of these 3 lands he has been received with great readiness, and also his cultural distance from these Oriental cultures was nothing, because he was able to communicate very well with the people, and he has given an incredible hope and enthusiasm to the people that he has met in Korea, in Sri Lanka in particular, also in the fast days, and here in the Philippines. I think that Asia was waiting for a visit of the Pope already 20 years here and 15 years in India, but it was time to come for the Pope, yes.
Let me add 2 details that just escaped my mind. In the University of Santo Tomas, before his encounter with the youth, he was able to greet representatives and leaders of non-Catholic Christian communities and also non-Christian religions. So there was an informal and a cordial meeting. It was not a meeting where they discussed anything say of substance. It was more a personal greeting type. Unfortunately, the Pope has no time today or tomorrow because to meet other leaders of other religions, because yesterday there have been some invitations sent to the Holy Father for him to meet other leaders. And secondly, I don't know whether you noticed it, we had this candle lighting ceremony at the end of the Mass as we were singing. Oh, by the way, that song was the theme song of the World Youth Day in 1995 here in Manila. And people have not forgotten that. Tell the world of His love. No? Yeah. With all please don't make me do it. I might just do it if you force me. No, I'm joking. I'm tired. But and I got lost. And so we had this light, and the Holy Father was given a candle. No, and then it was taken. All the candles were taken away from us for the final blessing. But the Holy Father asked for the candle again. And if you noticed, he, with his crosier on one hand, he used the candle to bless the community. No? So symbolizing the fire, the light of God himself. So you are being blessed by the very light of God. So now, spread that light. Because my candle had already been taken away from me, and then the ceremoniere said, "Oh, no, here, hold it again." So it was not over. So the Holy Father is attentive to little details. He notices a child. He notices something like this. On the spot, he sees the significance of a candle handed to him, and he incorporates it into the whole ritual, which is, I think, a gift.
So before we proceed to the question and answer portion, I understand that some of you here have yet to hear Mass. Mass will be held at 8 o'clock in the evening. So we'll try to keep this short and as quick as possible. Who has the first question here? Probably I'll start off with those on this side because I've neglected you for a while. The person in brown, yes. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yes, Sébastien Maillard from the French daily La Croix. My question is to Cardinal Tagle. Your Eminence, the Pope ended, as you said, with a call for the Philippines a missionary call for the Philippines for Asia. Could you perhaps tell us concretely how you understand this call and how you can concretely put it into practice?
The recent popes, as far as I can recall, starting with Pope Paul VI, the recent popes have been reminding the Filipino people that it has a special calling or vocation to be evangelizers, not only in our own country, for evangelization needs to happen all the time in our own country, especially towards social transformation, but also evangelization ad gentes, and to begin with our own continent, Asia. And so since that time, there have been a lot of efforts to awaken in the Filipino church this missionary calling. So in the past 50 years, we have had like the Philippine Mission Society, which now is very much present in different parts of Asia. We also have the Philippine Lay Mission Association. We have lay missionaries also being sent to different parts of the world. We also have many Filipino priests working as Fidei Donum priests in different parts of the world, serving in, I know, for example, in the States, in Canada, in different parts of Europe. We have Filipino priests in Papua New Guinea, in Oceania, in New Zealand, and religious men and women also. But let me also indicate that this is something probably we did not plan, but our overseas Filipino migrant workers have become the big missionary presence. Now, in a few days, 2 days from today, I will be going to Brunei. The Bishop of Brunei, Bishop Cornelius Sim, he is staying here. You might want to look him up. He is celebrating his 25th anniversary of priestly ordination, and he has invited some of us to support him. In Brunei, there are only 20,000 Catholics, but I think 70% are Filipinos, those who are working in Brunei. Bishop Hinder of Arabia, has been inviting me to encourage the Filipinos. I said, "Oh, no, let me find time." He said, "You should find time." I said, because around more than 90% of my diocese or my vicariate, apostolic vicariate, is Filipino. He said, "Without the Filipino workers in the Middle East, I don't have a diocese." I won't have it, will be scrapped. So without our meaning to, yes, the Filipino overseas workers bring their faith also and bring their...
It is your turn, IMC. May we have your question, please?
Yes, let me check. Yes, please go ahead. Please identify yourself and the entity you come from. Yes,
Are you
please.
ready?
Yes, please go ahead.
I'm Bernie Anabo of Metro National Daily Newspaper. The Philippines proudly boasts to be the only Christian nation in Asia. More than 86% of the population is Roman Catholic. 6% belong to various nationalized Christian cults, and another 2% belong to well over 100 Protestant denominations, and it was proven a while ago. My question is addressed to His Eminence Cardinal Antonio Tagle.
Yes, please.
Considering with that great figure, 86% of our population is Roman Catholic, thus the Pope has the plan to visit us again?
That may be classified, but let the Cardinal answer.
Maybe we can let him go home first to to the Vatican and rest, and then next month we will. He called for a consistory, so the cardinals will go there. Let me ask him. I will ask him about the future plans. But the Philippines will host next year, in January next year, the 51st International Eucharistic Congress. It will be held in Cebu. Again, another international event. The last Eucharistic Congress was held in Dublin, in Ireland. Now, will the Pope come again? No, for that? We hope. The Episcopal Conference has already invited him. But are you willing, all of you willing to come back?
Yes, of course. Very
Next
much.
year? But we'll see. We'll see. Okay. But there is an invitation for him to come to the Eucharistic Congress.
Okay, thank you. May we have the next question, please? Yes, ma'am. The lady over there, yes. The one wearing black. You were raising your hand, yes.
Thank you. Paloma García Ovejero from Cadena COPE, España. Many of the Philippines, for the Cardinal Tagle, Eminencia, many of the Philippines I've been talking with these days have marked that this faith that they have, that you have, comes from Spain, those 133 there. So could we say that it is now Asia coming back to Europe to give us back that faith we have lost, or we are losing?
Yeah. Well, I think with pride we say that, and we humbly hold that. I think the best expression so far that I've heard of this phenomenon was used by the Federation of Asian Bishops' Conferences, the FABC. They said it is the time of the heirs. The time of the heirs. We have received a legacy, an inheritance. Now, you don't use it only for your own advantage. You share it with others, and you share it even with those who had given you the legacy. And but let me also say, Madam, that yes, we much of the religiosity in the Philippines could be traced back to Spain, but it is Spain through Mexico, because the Philippines was part of the diocese's Acapulco trade, Mexico. So some of the practices that we have here, have a strong Mexican flavor. And so, yes, we have received, now it's time to share.
It is your turn, IMC. May we have your next question, please? And please be reminded that it be brief.
Yes, we have questions from the floor. Yes, madam, please go ahead. There's a microphone to your right.
Thank you, Melo.
Yeah. Please identify yourself and the entity you come from. Just be careful. The floor may be slippery. Yes, please.
Hi, good evening. My name is Maan from the CBCP website and social media.
Please go ahead.
The Pope mentioned earlier about the OFW workers being the unplanned missionaries of the Philippines. So my question is, does the Catholic Church right now have started any efforts in institutionalizing this or concretizing it?
Mm-hmm. And the question goes to?
Bishop Tagle, please.
Cardinal Tagle.
Cardinal
please.
Tagle,
Your
sorry.
Eminence.
Yes. There are three of us here, huh? You can ask the other two also.
If you please.
Yes, please.
Yes. On two fronts. First is we try to help the families of the overseas Filipino workers, the families that are left behind, because they need a lot of pastoral care. The children miss their parents or one parent, and because of that emotional lack, or let's say wound even, we need to address their growth, and the spouses left behind. But I know many dioceses are also helping potential Filipino migrant workers, those who declare that they're planning to go abroad to work. Some dioceses or parishes have a program for them to prepare them to face the cultural shocks, to prepare them also to face some of the religious sensibilities present in the countries that they will that will employ them. But another way of helping them is either through Filipino chaplains sent to other countries in order to help the Filipino overseas workers. We also establish links with
Security has calculated all the people that had moved toward this part of the city, and I have heard that already this night there were 3 million. They were estimated that 3 million were in the around the location of the mass. And then today, other 3 million were added. But obviously it is a region. I don't know until when, but...
We can still probably entertain 2 more questions. So if we can keep it brief, it is your turn, IMC.
Excuse me. We have a lady here, Maria Ressa, please.
Sir, Maria Ressa from Rappler. This is a question for Cardinal Tagle and Father Lombardi. Pope Francis has really rejuvenated hopes from both the progressives and the conservatives. And the question everyone always asks is, which side is he really on? Is there even a side? How do each of you see what he's doing? I mean, in one sense, he's the first pope to talk about corruption in our country. He was very straightforward. At the same time, his message about same-sex marriage and the reproductive health law are still are according to canonical law. I mean, it could be seen by the progressives as very conservative. So in your perspective, for both of you, how do you see him navigating these waters and attempting to get caught between the devil and the deep blue sea? How do you see him moving forward?
Thank you, Maria.
This is my personal view. I just don't want to classify anyone as a conservative, as a progressive, because a person goes beyond those labels, no? Especially a person who works in the area of faith and pastoral life. You know, and when you have a religion like Catholicism, you receive a lot. You don't invent. I mean, a pope has no liberty to invent his own teaching. So there is an element of reception from the past. And the pope has said that a number of times, I am a son, a child of the church. But he's attentive to the changes in society, and his desire is to see how the depths of the Christian faith, the tradition, if you want to call it that, the tradition, could be further explored. No? And in the process, I don't think that's an activity of a liberal or of a conservative. Somebody asked me, said, point blank, is he a conservative or a liberal? I said, he is what he is. No? And then the journalist asked me, said, what is he? I said, he is what he is.
Mm-hmm.
So much as we would like to entertain more questions, we only have time for one final question. Okay.
Will it come from you?
Veritas to your radio and send a message to China. China is your neighbor, so I'd like to hear you about this.
The mission outreach, as it were, to the missionary outreach to China is very much present. And as you stated a while ago, Radio Veritas Asia remain future professors and responsible for formation.
So before we end today's press briefing, I just have one announcement and a request. Now, the announcement is a post-visit press conference will be held at the Kalayaan building of the Villamor Air Base immediately after the departure of Pope Francis. The panelists will be Cardinal Tagle, Archbishop Josepe Pinto, the Apostolic Nuncio to the Philippines, Secretary Coloma, and Bishop Milo Vergara. Entry for pre-selected media will be at Gate 1, which opens at 5 a.m. and closes at 7 a.m. Other media may proceed to the International Broadcast Center at the Manila Hotel for live coverage. And here's a request from the hotel staff management that right after the press con, they're requesting a photo with the panelists. So Bishop Milo?
Well, just a short note of gratitude, first and foremost, to His Eminence Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle. I actually forced him to come here, and I was fortunate. In fact, he told me, you coerced me. But we were enriched by your presence, Your Eminence. Yes. Let's give him a warm applause, no?
Thank you. Thank you.
And of course, Father Federico Lombardi, SJ, our Vatican spokesperson, who has also enriched us with insights on the speeches, the homilies, and some stories also given the events of the papal visit. Let's give him a warm applause too. And for all of you, the foreign media, the VAMP, the Vatican accredited media personnel, and the local media, you have been a blessing to all of us, no, in this task of evangelization. We have heard the saying, when it rains, it pours. Indeed, there was rain pouring yesterday and the whole day today. And the streets poured with many people, even in the event areas.